they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Look my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Look my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Look my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay. And so with that all being said, hello, Leon, G from the land. Sheila is here. Buckhorst, DC. All right. Erlene is in the house. Anita Harrell. All right. Sandra, too much for you. Nessa G is here. All right. Let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Okay. Queen Amoni Huey, Leon is here. Okay. So with that all being said, y'all, that damn Diddy just won't stop. Diddy is determined that y'all can't hold him down. He's trying to do everything he can to get out of this, okay? He is throwing everything at the wall to see what's going to stick. And hopefully for him, something will. But I don't think so. Okay, so we're going to talk about, hey, Star Child, Christine is here, okay? Nessie X, we the people. So that all been said, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes so we can get into it, honey.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay. So with that all being said, honey, let's talk about Diddy. Lord have mercy. Diddy wants a gag order, y'all. I find it all so interesting. So let's talk about it. Sean Diddy Combs, all right? Now, yesterday they came out talking about his mental capacity was diminished. We talked about that some more earlier this morning. For those of you who missed the previous broadcast that I did earlier, please go back and watch, okay? But now, basically, Diddy wants to silence people. So let me pull up my receipts. I actually have the court filings also. Now, the reason Diddy wants this gag order is because supposedly, now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he may have asked for a gag order one time before. It seems like it. When people were saying things that he was saying wasn't true, I think he asked for something like that before. But now he's upset about Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigder, something that he supposedly said. Now, exclusive. Diddy's legal team asked judge to place gag orders on victims' attorneys on the eve of the trial. Okay. So let's talk about it. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is asking the judge to muzzle other attorneys from commenting on the disgraced bad boy mogul's case. Now, in a letter filed Tuesday, Combs' attorney said despite their prior request for a gag order, several attorneys who represent alleged victims and witnesses continue to muddy the jury pool with negative publicity towards their client. Combs' team specifically named Douglas Wigder, who represents Combs' ex, Cassie Ventura. Okay, he said that he's been speaking to the media. That's interesting because I haven't seen Mr. Wigder speaking to the media, but I'd like to know what he had to say. Okay, please pay attention. Now, it goes on to say that absent a court order, we expect the publicity to not only continue, but escalate as the trial commences. Okay, this is what they wrote in the letter to the U.S. Judge, Arvind Subramanian. Indeed, in recent weeks, lawyers for government witnesses have commented on pretrial litigation and continue to broadcast prejudicial statements. Now, they pointed to Wigder's comments concerning Combs' request to keep the surveillance video of the rapper pulling and dragging Cassie Ventura by her hair inside a Los Angeles hotel hallway in 2016 as she tried to escape. So this is what Wigder said something about. Yeah, this ain't good because I'm going to tell you what, Diddy's just adding all of this to his arsenal. So when they convict his arse, he can come back with all of this for his appeal. He's stacking it up. Okay, so despite the defense attorney's attempt to keep the video out from being played for jurors, the judge ruled that it will remain in as evidence. Now, the decision is a big blow for Diddy as his attorneys claim the video initially aired by CNN was edited and manipulated. Now, Wigder told the DailyMail.com that he plans to file a response to the gag order request, saying that we will vigorously oppose the motion seeking an extraordinary sweeping gag order as it is an obvious attempt at controlling and silencing victims and their counsel in contravention of well-established legal and ethical precedent. Okay, given this, it should come to as no surprise that Combs fails to cite even one case to support his request. Well, you know, here's the thing. He may not have any cases to point out because this is probably, just in my opinion, I can't think of another time, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but this is probably the first time in history that such a trial had so much, it was so high profile and had so much publicity that people were saying all sorts of things. I mean, people coming out of the woodwork, making up lies, trying to clout chase and get money and put themselves in close proximity to the story. Okay, acting like they've been to freak offs, acting like they know all these people, acting like they've been around Diddy, acting like they got information, just making up stuff. Now, I know that when we had trials like OJ, which we all thought then was the trial of the century, but when you think about the amount of people that have come out and just told these stories that are not even true, This is probably the first time that we've heard of something like this happening. And that has definitely muddied the water. Okay, that definitely is going to impact the jury pool. And also these people just coming out and saying all this extra stuff in documentaries that they can't substantiate. And in some cases, saying it as if it's factual. Okay, so all of that, yeah, that can be problematic. Okay, now with that all being said, goes on to say that defense attorneys also called out Lisa Bloom, who is also representing another prosecution witness. Now, although that witness has not been named, Bloom is representing former singer Don Richard, who was a former member of Combs' girl group, Danity Kane. Bloom, who has appeared on DailyMail.com's podcast, The Trial of Diddy, has said that Richard is in fear of her life. Now, Richard filed a civil suit against Diddy and claims the disgraced bad boy mogul assaulted her, deprived her of food and sleep, and refused to pay her adequately. So with that all being said, her case is among dozens of claims filed against Combs in New York, California, Florida, and Nevada. Now, Bloom is also representing another alleged victim who filed his case in the U.S. District Court of Southern New York under the name of John Doe. According to his lawsuit, Doe claims he also was an inspiring entertainer in Las Vegas when he met Combs in 2007. Now, the man claims that he was hired to perform a strip show in a hotel room in Las Vegas. Doe claims that he was offered drinks and baby I think this should say baby oil. It says baby old, O-L-D. Daily Mail is trash when it comes to editing. Okay, they have numerous of typos. But anyway, okay, so anyway, it goes on to say he was offered drinks and baby oil was applied on his body that made him disoriented and weak. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all like this. To be honest with y'all, I'm not believing this. I'm not believing all these people that after the fact came out and started saying that they got something slippery on them and they started passing out and they couldn't move their body. I don't believe these people. I think these people are lying. And here's why I think they're lying. Because the funny thing is, nobody said anything about any baby oil or GHB or whatever being rubbed on them until one person, somebody came out. I don't remember who it first was. Somebody on TikTok first said something about the drugs being in the oil. And then once that video on TikTok came out, then all of a sudden, all these people started talking about, oh, it was something slippery on me and I couldn't feel my legs, so I couldn't have control of my body. Okay, now that may have happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but what I'm saying is all of these people coming out saying that, I don't believe them. All of these people that's now coming out saying, I don't believe you. Because if that's the case, why didn't you say that in the first place? Okay, I don't believe it. All right, this person saying that in 2007, this, that, and the third happened to them, and they had baby oil on them. I just don't believe it. Okay, I'm sorry. Everybody's had baby oil on them now. Yeah, right. I don't believe it. So anyway, the man claims that he was hired to perform a strip show in the hotel room. Doe claims that he was offered drinks, baby oil applied to his body that made him disoriented and weak. While in this state, Doe was allegedly instructed by Combs to engage in acts such as masturbating, while Combs and the woman engaged in asexual intercourse, according to the lawsuit. Now, Doe claims, now that sounds a bit strange because usually that's Diddy's role. So you mean to tell me Diddy paid somebody to come and sit there and watch him and somebody else doing the do? And they sat there and watched? Okay. That's a switch. But anyway, Doe claimed the abuse went on for at least 5 years. So let me get this straight. So for 5 years, I want y'all to pay attention. So for 5 years, this person would come meet up with a Diddy. First of all, why would you do it for 5 years? This is a whole grown man. Why would you do? They didn't say nothing about he was a minor, so he was clearly a grown man. Why would you come and you're coming there to be paid to have relations or whatever you got to do, strip or whatever he said, with these people watching or whatever, and then you watch them doing this stuff. They gave you some baby oil with stuff in it that made you disoriented or whatever. They drugged you, and then you sat there and watched them. Now, why would they need to drug you for that? Clearly, you already agreed to come and watch if you already came and they already gave you the money. Y'all see how this doesn't make any sense? Is it just me? Is it just me? I'm sorry. Somebody let me know. Because this sounds like a load of BS. This sounds like a load of BS. Why would you be dealing with somebody for 5 years if they did that to you the first time you came? Why would you deal with them for 5 years? This is a man. Even if it was a woman, I have questions because a lot of these women, some of the stuff they do or claim that happened is questionable to me too. But this dude, you mean to tell me this went on for 5 years? Okay, sir, let's keep going. So anyway, he says, during that period, Doe said he was trapped in a vortex of exploitation and fear and subjected him to sexual assaults, death threats, clandestine recording, blackmail, and psychological manipulation. Sir, okay, this sounds like he read this from the X-Files or from some CIA documents. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He claimed the abuse went on for at least 5 years. Sir, sit down somewhere. If you're a fool that sat up there, you're a grown-ass man, and you let another man do this to you for 5 years, you let him come, you come there and he put stuff on you, you get disoriented, can't do nothing. Now you got to sit there and beat the meat and sit there and watch what he's doing for 5 years. I'm still not understanding why they needed to drug him, okay, to get him to sit there and watch. Something that he clearly, obviously agreed to do, like I said, if he was there. Okay, so this ain't making no sense, but let me continue. Now, goes on to say, in an executive statement to dailymail.com, Bloom fired back at Combs' attorneys, saying how hypocritical that Mr. Combs and his attorneys, having made public statements many times, now want to silence me. This is what she said. Accusers and their attorneys have every right to speak out. Well, you do have every right to speak out. But what they don't have every right to do is say things as if they're factual when you don't know if they are. Okay? If you want to let your clients talk, that's one thing. But when people are up here saying certain things, some of these lawyers are just stupid to me. Okay? Because when they say things as if they know or as if they saw it, or when they say things that come out of their mouths as being judgmental. Okay. To me, you're doing too much. As an attorney, you're supposed to be ethical and you're supposed to have you're not supposed to be biased. You're supposed to stick to the facts. But when you have these attorneys coming out just making certain little comments at the end of the day, that is the problem. And that is muddying the jury pool because it's like you've already found the man guilty before he gets to court. Now, we can do that because we're just the court of public opinion. You're actually going to be in court, sir. Okay, Mr. Wigdor is who I'm talking about. So anyway, let me continue. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say that I am very proud to represent my brave clients, Dawn Richard and John Doe, in litigation against Mr. Combs. I look forward to attending Mr. Combs' upcoming trial, his criminal trial in New York, and continuing to advocate for my clients consistent with the law and the ethical rules. Now, Combs has denied all allegations in his criminal case and the various civil litigation. His defense attorney said the threesomes were consensual and the bad boy mogul was a swinger. Okay, Combs' attorney said that Diddy did nothing wrong during his sex parties, which prosecutors claimed were drug-fueled freak-offs. Federal prosecutors filed a third superseding indictment earlier this month with additional charges of trafficking and transportation. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, honey, Diddy wants them to shut the hell up. Okay. Here's the thing. Now I'm going to tell you why this is crazy to me. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Lisa Bloom is upset because Diddy wants them to stop talking. His attorneys want them to stop talking about it publicly. Also, Douglas Wigdor said he will be filing a response to it. Well, here's the thing. If I were an attorney representing somebody that's accusing Diddy, I would gladly stop talking about it because I'd be feeling like, okay, we're going to see what all happens and what comes out when you go to trial. Okay? We'll just let the cards fall where they may. See, if he wants them to stop talking, they probably should, because I'm telling you right now, some of the stuff they're saying is dirtying the jury pool. It's a fact. And I keep telling y'all, they're going to mess right around and Diddy's going to get out on a technicality. That's going to be a whole hot mess because they can't just shut their mouths and wait till they get to court. What are y'all talking about it publicly for? Why are y'all getting just clout chasing in the media? I mean, what's the deal? I have several questions. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen. Now, these are the filings. These are the filings from Diddy's attorneys. Okay, so let's get into it. Dear Judge Subramanian, we write pursuant to Local Rule 23.1 and the Fifth and Sixth Amendments for an order prohibiting extrajudicial statements from anticipated witnesses, lawyers, until the conclusion of the trial. Now, in light of the unprecedented amount of publicity and recent prejudicial statements by counsel for government witnesses, an order prohibiting such statements for the limited duration of the criminal trial is narrowly tailored to protect Mr. Combs' constitutional rights without unduly infringing on anyone's First Amendment rights. Now, let's pay attention to what they said in that first paragraph. They say narrowly tailored to protect Mr. Combs' constitutional rights. They're going to come back upon appeal and bring this up again, okay, and say that they violated his constitutional rights. People out there running their mouths and saying things, okay, and painting narratives. All right, that's what they're going to definitely do. And they say, even if you just get them to stop, to make sure they're not violating his constitutional rights, they can still say things, but it's just certain things that they should not be saying. That's why he said without infringing upon their First Amendment rights. Now, as the court is aware, Mr. Combs previously moved for a gag order on prospective witnesses and their counsel to mitigate the onslaught of negative publicity permeating the jury pool, and the court indicated its openness to other tailored proposals that will help ensure a fair trial. There goes that term again, fair trial. And so, yes, they just answered my question. He did. I thought I reported on it. He did ask for a gag order before. Now, with that all being said, since then, witnesses and their counsel have continued to make numerous statements to the media, including by previewing their trial testimony in widely distributed documentaries and commenting on the criminal proceedings to media outlets. Absent a court order, we expect the publicity to not only continue, but escalate as trial commences. Indeed, in recent weeks, lawyers for government witnesses have commented on pretrial litigation and continue to broadcast prejudicial statements. For example, on March 13 of 2025, Douglas Wigdor, counsel for alleged victim number 1, made press statements in response to certain of Mr. Combs' legal arguments, okay, telling media outlets that it's not surprising Diddy would make a disingenuous argument to exclude the disturbing video from being shown to the jury in the upcoming trial. He also told the media that Combs will be held accountable for his depravity. These statements were widely distributed across numerous outlets and social media. As an attorney representing the government star witness, Mr. Wigdor's comments are unfairly damaging, as they give the misrepresentation to the public and potential jurors that his opinion carries authoritative weight rather than simple one-sided advocacy for his self-interested client. This is all true. This is all true, and I hope you all can understand that, okay? Because here's the thing. As I was saying, we are just regular people. So if we're giving commentary about it, or we're just discussing it amongst ourselves or whatever, even if we're discussing it amongst people, we're just regular people. These attorneys that are actively involved with litigation with Diddy, whether it's criminal or civil, they need to be careful about some of the things they say, especially with a criminal case. And as they say in this filing, Douglas Wigdor is the counsel for the state star witness. So he should not be saying certain things the way he is saying them. The way he's framing these things, it's coming off as prejudicial, okay? Because he will be viewed as an authoritative figure. He absolutely will be. People will look at it as though he's privy to inside information that they don't have, because he's right there with Cassie defending her. And when he said that Diddy's depraved behavior, he's saying that as if it's factual. Now, it could be factual, and I believe it is, but that's not the point. The point is it has not been proven to be factual, okay? Because they've not gone into court yet. And as an attorney, he should be very careful of what he's saying, because painting a narrative of someone's guilt or innocence prior to a trial, and especially when you have the main accuser of the defendant under your guidance and under your counsel, and they're the star witness, that's a big problem. I'm telling y'all right now, Diddy's gonna get off. Diddy is getting off. It's just, I'm so annoyed right now. Okay, I am so freaking annoyed because here's the thing. If they find Diddy guilty in the trial, Diddy's going to get off when he comes back for that appeal. And it's going to go down just like this whole thing with Harvey Weinstein. They're probably going to say, okay, we can give him. They may not even give Diddy a retrial. Okay, it just depends. But at the end of the day, he's definitely going to come back with all of this stuff that he's collecting right now. How many times have I told you in any of these filings that I've read, and I've read you plenty of them, because every time they get filings, paperwork filed, I usually come out with it. So how many times have I told you all that his team keeps saying things like fair trial, prior bad acts, okay, prejudicial, muddying the jury pool? All of this stuff is very much so things that you file appeals for. Okay. Anyway, and they keep bringing up Harvey Weinstein's trial as well. Okay. Because there are some very much so similarities, even in how his case was, Harvey's case was presented in court. Diddy's is likely going to be very similar. But anyway, let's continue. So it goes on to say, jurors may think that his opinion carries authoritative weight rather than simple one-sided advocacy for his self-interested client. Now, Mr. Combs also recently learned that Lisa Bloom, counsel for another government witness, has been interviewed for yet another documentary. See, I'm telling y'all right now, these lawyers are clout chasing. You see, this is a big time case. It's the trial of the century. Okay, this is bigger than OJ's trial. Okay, so with that all being said, they want a piece of the pie. They want their faces seen. They want people to know that they're tied to this case. And so they're going out here and they're getting on documentaries and all of this. Interestingly enough, Diddy's own lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, didn't he appear in the TMZ documentary, the first one? Okay, these people can't contain themselves apparently. So anyway, goes on to say, Miss Bloom has previously made numerous sensationalist accusations and was interviewed in connection with the Peacock documentary, The Fall of Diddy. Okay, speculating that the accusations are only the tip of the iceberg with hundreds of other people with similar allegations, speculating that you can only imagine what he did behind closed doors, commenting on the credibility of Mr. Combs and her client, and comparing Mr. Combs to Jeffrey Epstein. Is she crazy? You understand what I'm saying? I can compare him to Epstein. You all can compare him to Epstein. We don't have lawsuits against him, and nor are we defending anybody that does. Okay, y'all see how this is a problem? But let me continue. Counsel for Mr. Combs previously sent Ms. Bloom a cease and desist letter and have repeatedly reminded her of ethical obligations in Local Rule 23.1. As the court is aware, Rule 23.1 provides that the court may issue a special order governing matters such as extrajudicial statements by parties and witnesses likely to interfere with the rights of the accused to a fair trial by an impartial jury, and that in determining whether to impose such a special order, the court must consider whether the order will be necessary to ensure an impartial jury and must find that other, less extreme available remedies singly or collectively are not feasible or would not effectively mitigate the pretrial publicity and bring about a fair trial. Okay. Available alternative remedies include change of venue, postponing the trial, a searching voir dire, empathic jury instructions, and sequestration of jurors. Okay, so they're just saying, see, these are some of the things that are remedies. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, change of venue, I don't think that would really help because I think everybody pretty much knows about this story. It's too high profile. Okay, it's like global that people know about this. But postponing the trial, well, that's something that Diddy asked for, but they're not going to do that because he previously asked for a speedy trial. Okay, now that the trial witnesses have been identified and trial is imminent, a narrow order restricting the statements of counsel for anticipated witnesses for the duration of the trial appropriately balances the constitutional interest at stake. He's saying that this is not too much to ask. The trial's right around the corner. And so they could just reel it in and be quiet and stop going out and talking publicly and giving information to the media, participating in documentaries. If they could just quell that, if they could just hold all that in until the duration of the trial. Then when the trial's over, go do all the interviews you want, write a book, whatever. But for right now, they need to be quiet so my client can get a fair trial. See, this is what they're saying. Now, saying that there is no other remedy that could effectively mitigate the pretrial publicity. For instance, change of venue would do nothing to cure the amount of global press attention. Isn't that what I just said? I told y'all. Okay. And the other potential alternative remedy suggested in Rule 23.1, a searching voir dire, empathic jury instructions, and sequestration of jurors can only go so far to mitigate such prejudicial statements. Indeed, if such remedies were sufficient, there would be little reason to restrict extrajudicial statements in the first place. So he's saying, listen, they already have a few things in place. Okay, a few things that we could do, searching for voir dire, empathic jury instructions or whatever. But even though we have those things in place, those measures, that's not going to solve the problem completely. This is still an issue. And if it were so simple, if these things were going to help, the things in the Rule 23.1, well, we wouldn't even be here having this discussion. I wouldn't have to be filing this paper. Okay, so clearly that's not enough. Now, with that all being said, for reasons stated herein and in Mr. Combs' earlier application, they say the court should prevent further prejudice to his right to a fair trial. Okay, they've said that term about 3 or 4 times in these couple of pages, and I've only read about 2 pages. They've said it like 4 times already. Okay, to his right to a fair trial and direct counsel for all witnesses on the government's witness list, as well as those otherwise working at their direction, to refrain from making public statements for the duration of trial and until a verdict is entered. Respectfully submitted, Mark Agnephilo, Tini Garagos, Alexandra Shapiro. Okay, Ana Estavo. So with that all being said, honey, I don't know what the judge is going to say because apparently the judge hasn't ruled as of yet. Shalom, beloved. All right, Shai the Master Herbalist. And thank you for purchasing a membership, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, so with that all being said, honey, this is all a hot mess. All right. I mean, I don't understand why they can't just keep their mouths shut. I just don't get it. I don't understand why they can't keep their mouths shut. They're clout chasing, clearly. Okay, but y'all can't clout chase after the fact. Okay, so Diddy can get what's coming to him. All right, but anyway, that all being said, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe, because y'all remember that tape that they said they had on Shannon, and they had said that, or Shannon had said when he did his little apology or whatever, not his apology, but his little statement. Remember when Shannon said that Shannon said they were going to release a 30-second clip? Well, guess what? They showed Shannon the whole, or they didn't show it to him. They have the whole 10-minute tape, right? And they've offered, allegedly, according to them, they've offered to show it to Shannon a myriad of times. Guess what? They said Shannon don't want to see it. Now, let me ask you all this, because I know what I'm thinking. Powell Bunyan said Shannon another fool like Diddy. Let me ask you all what you all think, because I know what I'm thinking. Why do you all think Shannon doesn't want to see that tape, allegedly? Why do y'all think that he may not want to see that tape? Because they said Shannon don't want to see it, that he's refused to look at it. Which is interesting, because he said that the 30-second clip was going to make him look bad, and he told them to show the whole tape. So why wouldn't he want to look at it so he can make sure they haven't edited it, that they haven't added anything to it, that they haven't, altered it or whatever, that they haven't done anything nefarious? And also so he knows what they're going to show in court if it gets to court, which he said it is, because his lawyer already said they're not going to offer a settlement again. So why do y'all think? Broken Salad says because he knows the darkness on it. I think so. Nessa G said he knows what's on it. I think so. El Hombre Negro says, and Shay Shay already seen the tape. Shannon knows what's on that tape, in my opinion. And what's on that tape is something that he would likely be embarrassed to view in the presence of his lawyers, the accuser, and her lawyers. Okay? I'm sorry, Shannon, what's on there? Didn't I tell you all yesterday that it's no telling what's on there? Didn't I tell you all that when Michelle Bundy Evans said that Shannon was booted up and tooted up and on all fours and had her back there with the finger play, had her sitting behind him doing the spirit fingers? Okay? With that all being said, all I'm saying is Shannon don't want to see that damn tape because Shannon already know what he was on there doing. And quite frankly, he's pressed and embarrassed. And I would be too. I would be too. And see, that's why I told you all. That's why he offered her that $10 million, because he don't want to be embarrassed. He don't want all this stuff coming out. And who would? Okay, who would? How many of you in the chat would want anybody to ever find out, male or females? How many of you in the chat wants, if you would, not mind people finding out and seeing footage and passing it all around Kendrick Lamar's internet? Okay, with you booted up and tooted up. Okay? I'm sorry, please make it all make sense. Start y'all saying, Lord, he better hope that never leaks, okay? Broken Silence says he doesn't want to be reminded that he's a... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, Broken Silence. I'm not going to say it. But with that all being said, let's get into it. Shannon, Lord, why don't you want to watch that tape? Shannon Sharpe refuses to view alleged S tape in $50 million civil grape lawsuit. Okay? This came out a few hours ago. It's breaking news. Let's get into it. NFL Hall of Famer and prominent media figure Shannon Sharpe is facing a $50 million civil lawsuit filed by a woman using the pseudonym Jane Doe, who accuses him of rape and coercion during a relationship she claims was non-consensual. Central to the case is a controversial video recording allegedly showing one of the encounters in question. Honey, she got a freak-off tape too, honey. Everybody got freak-off tapes these days. And so the footage has reportedly been offered for viewing to Sharpe, who has refused to watch it despite multiple opportunities. Well, God dang it, I'll watch it. I'll watch it and let y'all know what's on there, okay? Tell them to send it to me. I want to see it because I want to see if Shannon's big black arse was dressed up like Minnie Mouse and booted up and tooted up, okay, with a big bow on his head. I want to see it, honey, with a little red polka dot dress. What was he doing on that tape? Inquiring minds want to know, okay? Shannon was probably dressed up like Kunta Kinte. All right, Shannon was probably dressed up like Kunta Kinte with a Minnie Mouse outfit. How nefarious. How nefarious of you, Shannon. Okay? We next, aka DSB, thank you for this lovely super chat donation, beloved. Says, Shalom, Queen, my warrior sister, and my warrior brothers and sisters in the chat. Well, shalom to you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay? Thank you for your contribution, for all you do for the Queen's channel. I really appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, let's see what they're going on about here, because Shannon, it's a very good reason he don't want to see that tape, honey. I wouldn't want to see it either. Not in the presence of other people. I would not want to do it, honey, because then I got to start explaining myself. Or even if I don't explain myself, I'm going to feel, if I don't have to explain myself, I'm going to feel obligated to. I'm going to feel obligated, because just imagine you did something that you're really embarrassed of, right? Reggie said it's something awful on them Shannon tapes. I know it is, honey. But so if you did something that you know you would be so embarrassed by, right? And then it's a room full of people, not even a room full, maybe 5 people. Okay, you got Shannon, his lawyer, maybe 2 of his lawyers, that's 3. And then you got the accuser and their lawyer. And then you probably got a judge or somebody there, right? For the mediation or whatever. So with that all being said, you're going to watch it with them all sitting there? Nah, that's what I'm not going to do. That's what I'm not going to be like, I'm good. I don't need to see it. Okay, I don't need to see it. But because like I said, you would feel obligated to explain yourself. Okay, even if you didn't have to, you would feel obligated to. I would be like, oh, y'all know I was drunk. What date was that on that video? Let me see. Oh, okay. That was March the 5th of 2023. Yeah, somebody put something in my drink that night. I wasn't myself. Woo, honey, Shannon, you done got yourself in all a big mess. But anyway, let me continue. This is not a laughing matter. Okay, let me stop playing around. So anyway, it goes on to say he's had numerous opportunities to watch and has refused every time. So, okay, so they have a detailed breakdown of the case, key evidence, legal arguments, and public discourse surrounding this high-profile litigation. Okay, so let's get into it. So Jane Doe filed the suit earlier this year. Her and Shannon began dating in 2023 when she was 19. Her legal team contends that Shannon exploited a significant power imbalance using his celebrity and financial influence to dominate and degrade her in a series of non-consensual encounters. A series of non-consensual encounters. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to fly, because she's trying to act like there was plenty of times where they were having non-consensual relations. I definitely don't believe that. I don't believe that. She can miss me with it. Now, maybe Shannon did something, I don't know, but at the end of the day, she's acting like they had multiple non-consensual encounters. Why would you keep messing with this man? Why would you follow him to Vegas? Because I don't care what nobody says. She followed him to Vegas, in my opinion. Shannon moved to Vegas. She moved to Vegas. Why would you move there? Why would you move there? This lady seems like she had a plan and she set it in motion, honey, and she was going to make sure that it went through. Shannon's just a fool who fell for it. Okay. Now, according to the complaint, the conduct occurred over several months and caused lasting psychological harm. The suit includes claims of battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and unlawful restraint, amongst other things. And here's the thing. Let me say something to you all. Let me say something to you all. Remember how when they were saying that she was an OnlyFans model, and then some people were saying that Shannon and his team were trying to, by letting people know that she was an OnlyFans model, they were trying to victim shame her or slut shame her or whatever. I keep telling y'all, I hate when people say that. I hate when people say, oh, they're trying to slut shame her. First of all, sluts don't have shame. They don't. They don't. Sluts don't have shame. If they did, they wouldn't be in sluts. That's why they're sluts. Because sluts don't have morals, okay? They don't have the moral fortitude like most people, okay? This is just true. Get used to it, okay? It's a fact. So if somebody's a slut, there's no way you can shame them. They're not ashamed. They're not embarrassed, okay? Most sluts are proud to be just that. That's why they'll tell you the things that they do. Okay, now here's the thing. What gets me, though, what I'm trying to understand is, because even though somebody is an OnlyFans model, even if you're a prostitute, whatever you are, you could still be raped. You could still be assaulted. That's a fact. And even if you've been in a relationship with somebody, you can still be raped or assaulted by them. That too is a fact. But what I'm curious is, when she claims that Shannon was so forceful, so aggressive, like wouldn't take no for an answer, even when he was at the gym asking her for her number, she basically made it seem like she felt obligated to give it to him. But then the first time she came to his house, he was kind of rude, didn't really say anything. She said that, then he rushed her up out of there after the fact or whatever. And she also talked about some other things. I can't remember it all, but she said some other things that happened. Now, what I want to know is, if that was your first experience with him, why did you go back? Why did you keep going back? Because one could say, sometimes people have Stockholm syndrome. They will defend and protect their abusers. Sometimes people will get into a situation. It could be a DV situation. It could be something like what she's claiming. But sometimes abused victims stay in bad relationships for psychological reasons. After they've been dealing with it for a while, they get used to it. Maybe they don't have self-worth. But my question is, those things happen down the line. Okay? There's other things that are precursors to any of that. So when she first went over his house, she didn't have any ties to him emotionally. She just met him. She really didn't seem like she was really that impressed with him at the gym, because she said that she'd seen him watching her before he ever came over. And the first thing she thought was, this is just some old guy trying to Google at me, send me googly eyes or whatever, like the rest of them. Okay, we next, aka DSB, just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Thank you, beloved. All right, and then 10 more. Okay, so DSB just get the 20 memberships to the channel. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Everybody, please shout out DSB, okay? Thank you so much. Now, with that all being said, I'm just wondering, in the beginning of the relationship, if he was all the things that she claims, why would you continue seeing him? You know why she continued seeing him? Because she wasn't attracted to him. You can already tell that. That's why she didn't want to go nowhere with him that day. And that's also why she was, saying these things about when she first met him. But because he has all that money. That's what that is. And that's why she stuck around. And this whole thing was nothing but a con game, a hustle from the beginning. In my opinion, that's what it was, and that's what it is. But the sad thing is Shannon's an idiot, and he fell for it. So this is what he gets, okay? Imagine working all your life. Shannon literally said that he ate, slept, and drank football. It was all he wanted to do. It came first in his life. Imagine being so dedicated and disciplined that you accomplish all of your goals and dreams in your NFL career. You're a Hall of Famer. You've acquired a $1 million, probably over $1 million, I'm sure, for the podcast Club Shay Shay. You've got all these endorsements. You're working with ESPN. I mean, you got all of this stuff going for yourself. Imagine. And then at this big age of 57, it's about to be snatched away because you've been out here messing with some trollop on the side who was plotting on you from day one. He brought this on himself. He brought this on himself. Reggie said he also said he wanted to date his wage and not his age. Yes, he did. I played the video the other day. Okay, here comes DSB again. We next, aka DSB, just gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Okay, that is a total of 25 memberships today. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Y'all get some fire emojis in the chat. Now, Keith Addison says he's guilty of verbally and sexually abusing this woman. Texts and tapes don't lie. I was lied on, but the text I saved prove that. Save your texts or careful what you text or say being recorded. Right. Well, here's the thing. You say the texts and the tapes don't lie. Well, I'm not going to say the texts and tapes don't lie because you can absolutely fake text messages. You can also alter a tape. Now, the tape that I heard is the same one y'all all heard, right? It did sound like the tape was edited, if I'm just being honest. It sounds like there was big pauses. There was too long of pauses in there. That's not the normal flow of a conversation. Okay, that tape sounded like it was edited to me. Okay, it sounded like it might have been a little chopped and spliced. Now, I'm not saying that Shannon didn't say what he said about choking her. He did say that. But at the end of the day, that tape sounded like it was edited. And text messages, we all know that people can edit text messages and create text messages. And I'm not saying that she did. I'm just saying that it can be done. Okay, so Reggie said clearly he was willing to pay for it, so he knew something was up. Well, yeah, his lawyer already admitted that he was paying her for sex. His lawyer already came out and said that. Absolutely did. Okay, his own lawyer. And I'm like, man, why are you throwing Shannon under the bus and telling all this? But anyway, like I said, Shannon brought this on himself. You lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And that's just a fact. Okay, so now goes on to say, I'm trying to see. Okay, here it is. Let's talk about Busby, because they say a pivotal element of the plaintiff's case is a video allegedly depicting one of the encounters described in the lawsuit. According to Tony Busby, who's representing Jane Doe, the video demonstrates a lack of consent and is central to the civil claims being pursued. Busby confirmed that the video was reviewed in a confidential mediation setting by Sharpe's legal team. But Sharpe himself declined repeated invitations to view it. He emphasized that the footage will not be released publicly, citing both legal and ethical considerations, saying the only reason the public knows this video exists is because Mr. Sharpe brought it up on Instagram. That's what Busby said in the statement. At no point have we ever threatened to release it, and we will not. It is evidence, nothing more, nothing less. Sharpe has publicly described the video as a 30-second clip designed to make me look guilty, asserting that it was taken out of context and crafted to play into damaging racial and sexual stereotypes. You know why he said that? You know why Shannon said that? Said it was taken out of context and crafted to play into damaging racial and sexual stereotypes. That's because he was involved in race play. That's what this is. She had him dressed up like Kunta Kinte, y'all. I just figured it out. Case solved. Case is solved. I just figured it out, honey. Shannon said, because I was wondering why he said that. Because I was thinking, is he trying to say that the big black man is always perceived as a brute when it comes to the little old lily white woman? But no, he said it plays into the racial stereotypes, the damaging racial and sexual stereotypes. You know what that is? Ooh, Shannon, I just put it all together, y'all. I just had a whole epiphany. Remember, you heard it here first. I just pieced it all together. Y'all know what? Shannon did that. I think Shannon did it. Why would he say damaging racial and sexual stereotypes? Do you all remember that movie that came out in 1915? I know y'all wasn't born. I wasn't either. But there was a movie that came out in 1915, Birth of a Nation, where the Klan was after this man. It was really a white guy with blackface on. He was supposed to have raped a white woman. They're chasing him, trying to catch him. Okay, because they depicted the black man in that film as a brute who's after the white woman, who's an sexual deviant. Okay? That's a very damaging stereotype. Shannon, what are you saying? Why would the video give us that context? Why would anyone seeing the video think of a damaging racial stereotype, an sexual stereotype? Because that must be what you was doing on that video, Shannon. And if you weren't doing that on the video, then it must have looked like that's what you were doing. But I think that's what he was doing. I think that's what he was doing. Pretty Wing said, Busby gonna get a bag. Busby gonna get that bag he was trying to get from Jay-Z, courtesy of Shannon. Yep. And he's gonna get an even bigger one because he wasn't suing Jay-Z for no $50 million, was he? Ooh, honey. Keith Addison said Sharpe apologized about the S tape and it made him more infamous. But this tape, he doesn't want released. Exactly. So that all been said, I think Shannon just told on himself, y'all. I think that's what he's saying. Damaging racial and sexual stereotypes. Yeah. Okay, think of all the stereotypes that we have that pertain to race and sex. There's only one. And it involves a black man that's a brute and looking for the white women, okay, for rape. That's the stereotype. Y'all know it. Okay, so anyway, I bet if I Google it right now, that's what'll come up. Please pay attention. Okay, so Shannon, I think you just told on yourself. But anyway, I digress. And I think that you don't want to see that video because you know you was doing exactly what that girl said you was doing on that video. Okay, and I'm going to tell you something else too. The bottom line is, I think it happened like she said it happened. I think that Shannon, even though she was setting him up, I think she was setting him up the whole time. But see, like I said, he fell for it. So this is his fault. Okay, now, Shannon, Nita's and Mike's World, please stop. Okay. Says because he was on all fours. Okay. Nessa G said again, Shannon talks too much. Yes, he damn sure does. He talks too much. And all that stuff that he said in the past is all looking real bad right now. None of it aged well. Okay, please pay attention. But guess what? He did say in that video that he gave the statement in, he said, I'm going to keep telling y'all whatever I need to, just like I always do. Shannon tells people what they want to hear. Okay, that's what he was saying. Okay, that's what he was saying. But anyway, let me continue. So anyway, legal analysts have taken note of Sharpe's refusal. Uh-oh, wait a second. Listen to this. See, I haven't read this. Okay, I came on here as soon as I found out this, as soon as I saw this article, I was on the other channel and I told them it's breaking news about Shannon and we're about to go on here. Listen. They say legal and strategic implications of Sharpe's refusal to review the video evidence. Now, let's see what they say is why he doesn't want to see it. Now, legal analysts have taken note of Sharpe's refusal to personally review the video, describing it as a potentially risky decision in a civil case where perception and credibility can significantly impact the outcome. Well, I agree. Although he has no legal obligation to view the footage, his refusal may be viewed unfavorably by a jury, explained Professor Lena Hartwell of the Stanford Law School, saying it may suggest avoiding or unwillingness to confront evidence that could challenge his narrative. Bingo! Isn't that what I said? I want y'all to pay attention. Isn't that what I said? You don't want to see that? He doesn't want to see it because he knows what's on there. He knows exactly what's on there. And he likely did exactly what that young lady said he did, okay? I wouldn't want to see it either if I were him. I wouldn't want to see it either if I were him. This is all nefarious. This is all nefarious. Okay, Ellen said, Queen, you having too much fun. Well, trust me, I'm not having fun because Shannon's going down. Another one bites the dust. I'm not having fun because of that. Like I told them on my spiritual channel, you know, I'm in a good mood because I worked out. And when you work out, that makes you, you know, your body releases endorphins, which is the feel-good hormones, okay? So that's why the Queen's in a good mood. But Sheila said, sounds like she getting the money. Oh, she is. Ooh, Shannon, you done up. Needles and Mice said it was a drunken night. Okay. We next, aka DSB, thank you, beloved. Just gifted another membership to the channel. Y'all better jump on them. Okay. Thank you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, I got something I want y'all to hear, and then I'm out of here. Okay. Shannon, you're done. Okay. Stick a fork in him because he's done. It's a wrap. It's over. Finito. Okay. Sorry to say it. I mean, even though I don't really care for Shannon like that, I hate to see that this man done worked all his life. All his life he had to fight. And now he's about to lose it all? Wow. Wow. This is all bad, Shannon. I'm going to have to write a song about this later on tonight. Speaking of songs, I got some songs to turn into somebody. Lord, let me get it together. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I want you all to see this video. Hold on. Oh, hold on. No. Before we go to the video, let's talk about Isaac Hayes Jr. and Trump. Okay, Isaac Hayes III. So Trump is trying to get the man's lawsuit dismissed. Because remember, he was playing the song, Hold On, I'm Coming. And so the man sued him. So now Trump's trying to get the judge to dismiss it, honey. He thinks because he's the president, he's going to get whatever he wants. A federal judge in Georgia will not let President Donald Trump off the hook in a copyright infringement lawsuit filed against him by the estate of Isaac Hayes for his repeated use of the singer-songwriter's Hold On, I'm Coming at his campaign rallies ahead of the election victory last year. U.S. District Court Judge Thomas Thrash on Friday refused to dismiss the two primary copyright claims against Trump, but did dismiss several other claims filed against the president, giving him and his campaign a minor victory in the legal battle that will continue to move forward. The judge also dismissed Turning Point Action, Inc. as a defendant in the case, reasoning that the court jacked jurisdiction over the far-right group founded by Charlie Kirk. Thrash wrote that the organization was not alleged to have engaged in copyright infringement and that merely having provided the third party with the opportunity to engage in wrongful conduct is insufficient to survive a motion to dismiss. Hayes' estate alleged that Trump began using the song at campaign events in 2020 and continued to do so through September 2024, even after being sent a cease and desist letter. Oh, really? Trump thinks he can just do whatever he wants, honey. Okay, no respect. Now, the campaign allegedly played the song at least 133 times. So the president earlier this year filed court documents seeking to have him personally removed as a defendant in the lawsuit, arguing that the plaintiffs failed to allege any infringing or torturous conduct done by him. Thrash rejected the president's claim, pointing directly to his alleged involvement in using Hayes' work at the campaign events. So Trump tried to blame it on Thrash. He apparently tried to blame it on the company, okay, that hosted the event or whatever. Okay, so the plaintiffs alleged that defendant Trump personally selected the work. Did they see how he tried to shift the blame on these people? Thrash. He tried to act like, okay, well, they're the ones that played it, but you told them to play it. Okay, anyway, the plaintiff alleged that defendant Trump personally selected the work, performed at least 133 times, and recorded and published those rallies on various media platforms. This is what Thrash wrote in the opinion. They say defendant Trump fails to explain how the allegations that he personally selected the work to be played at his campaign events do not state that he infringed on this exclusive right. The court will not dismiss any claims against defendant Trump on this ground. Okay, well, Trump, you got to face the music. Pun intended, okay? You got to face the music, baby. Now, Thrash did toss a claim against Trump alleging false endorsement under the Lanham Act, reasoning that courts have repeatedly rejected the proposition that a musical composition could serve as a trademark in and of itself, and that Trump and the campaign are not alleged to have used Hayes' name at any point in time. He also dismissed the claim that Trump violated the plaintiff's right to publicity, which occurs when a public figure's name or likeness is used for the defendant's benefit without consent. As stated above, there is no allegation that the defendants ever used the songwriter's name or likeness. This claim, therefore, fails and will be dismissed. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so as was previously reported, Hayes' estate in Isaac Hayes Sr., Isaac Hayes' estate and son, Isaac Hayes III, in 2024, followed through on their public threats to sue last August after Trump used the song during campaign rallies, saying, "Today, on the anniversary of my father Isaac Hayes' death, we have repeatedly asked Donald Trump, the RNC, and his representatives not to use Hold On, I'm Coming, written by Isaac Hayes and David Porter, during campaign rallies, but yet again, in Montana, they used it." This is what Hayes wrote on X at the time. "Donald Trump represents the worst in integrity and class with his disrespect and sexual abuse of women and racist rhetoric." Yep, no lies detected. In addition to Trump and his campaign, defendants initially concluded the Republican National Committee, the National Rifle Association, the organizer of the Conservative Political Action Conference. However, in naming all of them. Now, however, in September, the plaintiffs voluntarily amended their lawsuit to drop the RNC, the NRA, and CPAC from the case. Donald Trump, why? Why didn't he just not play it when the people asked him to stop? Why? Because he thinks that he can do whatever he wants to do. That's why, okay? That's what it is. He thinks that he can do whatever he wants. Now, I have a video for you all to see. Let me just pull this up. Now, if you all know Nino Brown, Nino Brown did a video giving his thoughts on why Shadur was not chosen until the 5th round. Now, mind you, when he did the video, Shadur had not been chosen at all. So he was just talking about how Shadur is not going to be chosen. He was saying some funny stuff because I find Nino very funny and hilarious, and I usually agree with him, but not on this. Not on this, okay? Because he's saying the same foolishness that Shadur was just being, cocky or whatever. He can be cocky all he damn wants, as far as I'm concerned. Ain't nobody gonna tell me not to be cocky if that's what I feel like being. Okay, that's what nobody's not gonna do, and he shouldn't do it either. Okay, be whatever the hell you want. If these people don't like it, then tell them to keep it moving, period. Okay, now I'm gonna put an overlay on this. And then let me play some music. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
Let me tell you something. Shadur being blackballed. It's a clear message going around the NFL that we don't want you or your daddy around here. This is the real reason why nobody want to pick Deion Sanders' son, Shadur Sanders. Shadur Sanders accomplished a lot during his collegiate career. He did it with no offensive line, he did it with no running back, and he did it on a subpar team. Arguably, Shadur Sanders is one of the best college quarterbacks in the NCAA right now. Well, good talent will always take you places that bad character can't keep you. Shadur Sanders' problems didn't come from throwing the ball. Shadur Sanders' problems came from refusing to work out at the NFL Combine. Then he flunked in them NFL interviews when they were trying to talk to him to see where his head was at. Then he told teams not to draft him if they wasn't ready to change their organization and change their culture. Well, guess what? This is not a collusion. These NFL teams just don't want him because he expects to run the organization from day one, then play for the organization. Shadur Sanders has two major issues, his daddy and his mouth. Deion Sanders publicly came out and said his son won't be playing for certain NFL teams. He also said he intends to expose NFL coaches that call his son entitled and not that good of a player. So that's a major problem that we seen LeVar Ball had with the ball boys, in which LeVar Ball has been silenced over the past few years in the NBA. Since then, he just lost a leg. Matter of fact, it's getting worse than that. But the other problem with Shadur Sanders is his cocky arrogance. The NFL don't really like flashy players because it sends the wrong message to the owner's children. And if you pay close attention to Cam Ward, which was the #1 pick, when he walked up, he ain't had no jewelry, he ain't had no arrogance, he didn't have nothing but a humble gratitude spirit with tears. They didn't pay attention to his teammate, Travis Hunter, which was the second NFL draft pick. No jewelry, no arrogance, just humble and gratefulness, appreciating the moment. Now, on the other hand, Shadur Sanders had this $1 million set up at his house. He had a room full of money signs. He had all the celebrities. I even seen Young Dolph's son around Shadur Sanders. And the NFL team owners saw that and humbled him on the players' biggest night. Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken might get drafted for Shadur Sanders. Even Bernie Sanders might hear his name called for Deion's son name get called. Shadur might be going to the CFL, or he just might be getting drafted by goddamn Indeed. Cause you know it's bad when the president of the United States tell the NFL owners that they stupid for not drafting Deion's son. Trump don't even like the NFL, but the message was clear. Nobody is bigger than the program. This Shadur Sanders situation could turn into a Colin Kaepernick situation for a franchise, and the NFL don't want that. Everybody on the internet claiming racism and complaining about Shadur Sanders not being drafted. But they threatening to boycott the NFL league. And that might be the exact reason why teams don't want no part of Shadur Sanders or his father. Shadur Sanders and Deion Sanders have become bigger than his field value. Now, instead of celebrating the large number of successful black men getting drafted into the NFL, the entire focus has been on one player, Shadur Sanders. Shadur trade value, trade expectations was bigger than Travis Hunter. Now imagine him as a backup quarterback behind somebody that's struggling in the early part of the season. The black community gonna drive the NFL franchise insane. Now you gotta put that with the fact that the NFL losing their fans drastically already, even after bringing a puppet named Jay-Z in to control that substance. They still can't recover from that Colin Kaepernick boycott. But I also predict that they gonna do this to Deion Sanders in Colorado. They gonna humble him. And guess who's gonna be behind that? The same coach that retired when Deion arrived at college football, Nick Saban. Nick Saban got a private organization, and he very big, and he gonna put some calls in to do him just like they did his kid. Think about what I'm saying. See, y'all gotta remember, these NFL team owners, they in the Illuminati group, and they all are joined forces to eliminate you. If you're gonna be a problem or a threat to their organization, they will blackball you. They did it to Antonio Brown at the height of his career, kicked him out the league. Now he done went crazy. They did it to Terrell Owens too. They'll do it to anybody. They don't care how good you is. They'll get your ass out the league because every year is new talent, younger and more humble coming into the NFL that got the same talent you got with a different kind of character. And the craziest part is when they do this, you don't even know who to blame because besides Jerry Jones, no NFL team owner wants fame. Think about what I'm saying. Now the NFL is making a big example and they doing it to Deion and his son on the world's biggest stage. Y'all pay attention to this and y'all future NFL players that's watching me that's in college right now, stay humble. Look at what's going on with Deion Sanders, a Hall of Fame player. Matter of fact, Deion Sanders is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Look what's going on between him and his son in the NFL right now. Nobody bigger than the program. Y'all comment below. Do y'all think this racism by the NFL or do y'all think it's a clear message? Now, I'm being unbiased because I understand how business works. Business is business. It's nothing personal. But this situation seems a lot like a phone call went around and say, nobody draft him. We finna teach him a lesson since he think he bigger than the program. But y'all comment y'all thoughts below, man, because it's a sad situation. Because I see what Shadur was trying to do by talk like your daddy, flash like your daddy, but you ain't your daddy, boy. You see what LeBron James' son going through? And LeBron James' son humbler than you. You gotta humble yourself till you get there. Now let this be a lesson that Tom Brady was the 199th pick and he went on to be the greatest quarterback that the NFL ever seen. Won 7 Super Bowls and we'll never see a Tom Brady ever in our lifetime. But y'all comment y'all thoughts. Y'all make sure y'all like this video. Y'all make sure y'all share this video, baby. Wait a minute.
That's the plan. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me.
Okay, so with that all being said, I'm sorry, but Nino sounded like those folks. He sounded exactly like those folks. And here's the thing. Why is it that a black man always has to humble himself? Okay, I'm sorry. Like I told you all, the rest of these, right, Charlotte, talking about unbiased. He was definitely biased. Okay, but with that all being said, I want you all to hear something because I think Don Lemon gave a very good take on this whole debacle. Okay, and he brought receipts. So let's get into it. Now, mind you, I don't have permission to use this, so I'm definitely going to put an overlay on here. But I want you all to hear what Don Lemon had to say. All right, because Don Lemon said the same thing I said. He said, say what now? All right, this drama. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get into it. Let you all hear a couple of minutes of what Don Lemon had to say. And Don Lemon has the right idea. Nino Brown sadly didn't. Okay. Christopher Perkins said he was speaking the truth. Yeah, he was speaking the truth as to how those people feel about people like Shadur. They don't want a cocky, arrogant black man. They just have a problem with that. It's just the way it is at the end of the day. So with that all being said, hold on just a second. Hold on, beloveds. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, I'm trying to get an overlay for this. Hold on. There we go.
Boomer music. I know it's great, right? Don't you love that music? So, look, I got a lot to talk to you about. A whole lot to talk to you guys about over the weekend. And a whole lot about our process here because we had come up with the plan, Nikki and Andy and Peter. And then I go, you know what? I just wrote this so they can see it. And then we're going to talk about why. Okay, so we're just going to talk about Trump. Like we had Trump. We're like, oh my God, I do so much Trump. I'm sick of it. Are you sick of Trump? I am. So we're going to talk about the immigration thing, and just scroll through it a little bit, Andy. The immigration thing and what's happening, and we will talk about those stories. But this story kept popping up on my algorithm all weekend. Now, let me know if I'm the only one. But this story, Shadur Sanders, and oh my God, he should have been a first-round draft pick. He should have been a second-round draft pick. How did he fall to 5? Some people were like, is this buck breaking? Is this humbling? I'm just telling you what people were saying. And everybody who's weighing in, from Stephen A to Stephen B to Stephen Z, everyone is weighing in on this story. Everyone has like an idea, or right? As long as we're not talking about Shannon Sharpe, someone says, and I wrote something about Shannon Sharpe as well that I did not put out because folks were saying, ooh, Don, it's a little controversial. Don't. I'll tell you about it. Maybe I'll put it out. But did you guys talk about this? Did you guys not care about the Shadur Sanders story? Did you care more about immigration? You can care equally. It's a different thing. I feel that this is in line with what the morning Hot Topics is about. And again, we will talk about the news. We will talk about the news, meaning what's happening with Donald Trump and the immigration. By the way, at 9 o'clock, they held this like unusual 9 a.m. press briefing in the briefing room with whole mess. So let me know if you're interested in this story. I don't know. Maybe you're not, but
Hold on. I'm trying to fast forward to where he gets to the receipts.
And then another one came and they were really to the left, and he was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. He liked the parties, not so much the dinner. That's usually how it is. But I think it's a bubble thing is going to get him into a better place with folks. Also, Deion Sanders has spoken positively about Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, I'm sure, feels compelled, or that he owes Deion Sanders in some way. And so now he is posting about his son. Okay. So, but this is the other headline, the matching headline here.
Do not buy new windows if you live in Georgia. Americans living in zip codes starting with 30, 31.
Donald Trump, historically unpopular.
It usually is when someone has personality in sports.
They thought it was showboating, but it depends on. You guys, the new members are coming in, so thank you for that. Okay, so let me just show you. Well, I'm not going to show you the social media. Let me just go through the story, okay? So Shadur Sanders is Deion Sanders' son, okay? And he is a pretty good college quarterback. His dad coaches him. His dad is an NFL prodigy, an NFL legacy, right? What was he called? Primetime, what do they call him? That was his name. And he was lauded for it. People loved him. People loved the showboating and the show of it all. They like it, right? They like it on some people sometimes, and then they don't like it on others. But I think that they liked it. I mean, Andy, did they like it for calling him primetime, or did he get black for it? I'm not that big of a football thing. Okay, let's go, Andy. Let's talk about it. So the rules change when it's your son. Shadur Sanders, double standard, and the story America keeps telling. I should say keeps telling itself, or telling on itself. I might have to change that. Excuse me. Okay, so some folks have heard about it, some folks haven't. Like our Nikki. Nikki's like, my algorithm is all immigration. And I was like, mine was mixed. Mine was about this. Okay, so this is how I start. I say, if you're a sports fan, you already know the headlines. But if you're not, or even if you only caught the surface, you might have missed the deeper story unfolding here. Either way, I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to read this. And I want you guys watching to take a few minutes and I want you to absorb this. And I really want to know in the comments what you think. You may say, Don, what you're writing is unfair. I don't think it's fair. Okay, great. I like that. What my original headline was, but I said I wanted this to appeal to everyone, including the women and the mothers out there, because they're going to think it's a sports story. So how do you appeal to with their sons? Right? Okay. So that's why I have those two families there. Now go with me. I want you guys to listen to this, okay? I want you to listen. I said there is a ritual in America, almost as old as the game itself. Watch a young black man rise and then look for ways to humble him. Remember, I don't pull punches. I don't hold back words. Part of the reason why I'm in independent media now. I'm not, I don't sanitize enough. I don't edit enough. I think that the news is about adults and we should be able to talk this way. Shadur Sanders entered the 2025 NFL draft with everything the system is supposed to reward: talent, discipline, resilience. He left not as a top 5 pick, not even a second round choice, but a 5th rounder, 144th overall. Shocking to a lot of people. Not that they think that he should have been the number 1, should have been in the 1st round, the 2nd round, but to go to 5th, considering his numbers, considering his pedigree. That would be a different story if, I believe, regardless of how he acted in the interviews, they said, oh, he didn't take the interview seriously, but that's reportedly. I don't know if that's real or not, because I know that a lot of things that are reported about me are fake or false, all lies, but people believe it because it's written. And I know, being in the media, that there is a double standard, especially when it comes to people of color, especially men of color. That is the God's honest truth. He entered 144th overall, not because he couldn't play. Of course, he certainly could. Not because he couldn't lead, not because he lacked the numbers. He threw for over 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and with a 74% completion rate. Okay, now listen to me. Those are better numbers, in fact, than quarterbacks drafted before him this year. Better numbers than Eli Manning had when his father, Archie Manning, reportedly brokered Eli's future from a podium, deciding for him that San Diego wasn't worthy and sending him to New York instead. Now, he denies some of that now, but that is the report. Okay? That's why I said reportedly. And there is Eli and his dad, Archie Manning, right there. Okay? So, no. Keep scrolling up, Andy. Shadur Sanders fell because of something else, something quieter, something older, something far more familiar. They whispered about his interviews. They said he came across as brash, as too confident, as entitled. Maybe there's some truth to it, I say. Maybe he could have handled it better. Maybe, or maybe not. Because again, this is reportedly. I wasn't in the interviews. You weren't in the interviews. The reporters were not in the interviews. It was between the coaches, probably the owners or whomever. But this is the perception that people say. This is what reportedly, maybe, maybe not. But in America, when a young black man carries himself with certainty, we don't call it self-assurance, we call it trouble. We turn self-belief into a warning sign. We turn pride into a flaw. Now, again, some of you may not hear, oh, Don, this guy was too cocky. Isn't that part of being an athlete, is like being cocky and self-assured? Humility is part of it too, but not everybody has the same personality. And not just for the young. It starts early, but it follows black men all their lives. Confidence, independence, audacity, qualities that are celebrated in white boys, white men, are treated like threats in black boys, black men, especially when the man standing behind you is Deion Sanders. A father who dared to love his son loudly, publicly, unapologetically, especially when the legacy looks like him, meaning Deion Sanders. The legacy looks like Deion Sanders. And there he is with his dad. There he is with his trophies, right? With his awards. Okay, keep going. Keep scrolling up. We saw it before, didn't we? When Archie Manning fought for Eli, it was legacy. When Deion Sanders stands up for Shadur, it's ego. When young white quarterbacks exude swagger, it's charisma. When young black quarterbacks exude the same, it's arrogance. And I give examples. I like to have receipts. It's the same playbook, the same story, the same lie, and it's not new. For example, Cam Newton celebrated touchdowns and was called a showboat. Baker Mayfield celebrated and it was called passion. Lamar Jackson was told maybe he should switch positions. Josh Allen was told he just needed more coaching. Again, go look it up yourself. And I fact-checked all of this. Justin Fields had his work ethic questioned without cause. Mac Jones had his faults glossed over. The double standard has always been there, and every time a black quarterback stands tall, the system looks for a reason to sit him back down. This is resonating with a lot of you. Thank you very much. And if it is, make sure you hit that thumbs up and send me your comments because I want to know. Thank you, Arist. The double standard has always been there. And every time a black quarterback stands tall, the system looks for a reason to sit him back down. And let's be honest about something else too. Now I want you to listen to this one, okay? Remember, he's a showboat. He's too arrogant. He doesn't take things seriously. Someone said he was wearing too much cologne. Someone said he had headphones on. All of that, okay? Let's be honest about something else too. Many of the men who made these draft decisions, who wrung their hands over Shadur's confidence, and the very ones who openly supported Donald Trump, a man more arrogant, more selfish, and more bloated with ego than any 21-year-old athlete could dream of being. Donald Trump is almost an 80-year-old man, and he has all these qualities he has not learned. Shadur Sanders, whether you like it or not, maybe he could have handled some things differently, but he's 21 years old. Okay? He is a 21-year-old. Let me read that again, just so I want this to settle in, okay? And let's be honest about something else too. Many of the men who made these draft decisions, who wrung their hands over Shadur's confidence, are the very ones who openly support Donald Trump, a man more arrogant, more selfish, and more bloated with ego than any 21-year-old athlete could dream of being. Thank you, Paulette Ward. Preach the truth. I'm just telling you, I always tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. So when Trump starts sounding like the voice of reason about how unfairly a young black man is being treated, you don't just have a football problem, you have a soul problem. When Donald Trump is the voice of reason, the same man who called NBA players sons of bitches, when he becomes a voice of reason,
okay, so there you all have it. I'm going to stop it right there. Y'all heard what Don Lemon said, and I have to agree with him. Okay, I have to agree with him. No lies detected as far as I'm concerned. Okay? They have a problem with him because he's black. That's all that is. Here's the thing. And then notice how he was, and that's why I liked his take on it, because he was naming these other football players who had problems as well. And then there were white ones who had the similar issues, but it was glossed over. Okay. They made allowances for them. They made excuses for them. Y'all don't think that Peyton Manning was ever arrogant? I'm sorry. Him and his brother. Okay? Him and his brother. And I find that very interesting. RG Titan said Don Lemon was on point. Yes, he absolutely was. There is always a double standard. It's just like when Colin Kaepernick took a knee and they went in on him and lied and said he was disrespecting the flag and the veterans. They didn't say that when Tim Tebow, back in 2013, I believe it was, Tim Tebow, he peacefully protested and took a knee also for his religious beliefs. Do you all remember that? The NFL didn't cancel him. They didn't do all that. They didn't have so much to say. They didn't collude and conspire against him. They did that to Colin Kaepernick, though, because Colin Kaepernick was defending black folks. And he's half black. Okay, that's how that went. It's always been a double standard. So when I hear black people foolishly saying that Shadur is too cocky, he's too arrogant, he's too much like his dad, he needs to tone it down. No, he doesn't. That's what y'all can do. If y'all want to bow down and bend and break, go right ahead. He doesn't have to. And his father didn't have to either. They were always hating on Deion Sanders because he was flashy. Remember, he had that song out, he had on that flashy suit and all that. Yeah, they hated it. They did the same thing to, what's his name? The guy that played basketball, Allen Iverson. Remember that, how they had something to say about Allen Iverson, the way he dressed back then with the bling and the baggy pants and the jerseys and all that. Remember they said something about the way he dressed or whatever. Now, here's the thing. If this is a game of football, the only thing they should be worried about, as far as I'm concerned, is how well the person plays football. Is the person engaged in any criminal or nefarious activities? Have they been accused of anything nefarious? Aren't they somebody who's a troublemaker, going out starting fights? Do you have to worry about them doing something dangerous or doing anything that would negatively impact the team, embarrassing you all, doing something criminal or whatever? That's what they should be worried about. How the hell somebody feels about their damn self should not even be on their agenda. It shouldn't even be a question. Okay? Because if somebody thinks they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, then that's their business and that's their prerogative. And why the hell should anybody else be mad? I don't care what position or job you're offering them. People should feel free to have a high self-esteem. Okay? And even if you want to be cocky in doing so. Period. Okay, it's the nerve of it all for me. And Nino Brown sounded crazy as hell sitting there capping for that bull crap, going along with the white man's talking points, okay? Acting like this black man, talking about these other ones. They know how to humble themselves. Yeah, okay. Okay, at the end of the day, see, that's the problem. Sometimes the status quo has always felt that black folks, specifically black men, need to humble ourselves. Hold your head down when you see them walking towards you. Remember in the old days, if you see them driving down the street, step over into the mud, okay? Just get out of their way. Don't look them in the eyes. You see that? I'm trying to tell you, I've been telling you that this is the same stuff that happened in Jim Crow. Nothing has changed except the date. They still do the same things. They just call it something else. Now it's not an uppity Negro, because that's what they used to call your ancestors. Look at that uppity Negro. I need to teach him a lesson. Now they don't call you uppity. They call you cocky or arrogant. It's the same thing. They mean it the same way, and they want to do to you the same thing they did back then. Please pay attention. They want to buck break you, okay? They want to humiliate you. They want to tone you down a notch. They want you to be put in check. All right? But I can tell you something, that despite their efforts, I guarantee you they have not humbled Shadur Sanders. Okay? If I were him, I'd come back even more arrogant. Okay? I'd give them exactly what they don't want. All right? And don't forget what I told you all. If you're purchasing Shadur Sanders' jersey, go to his personal website to purchase. Don't purchase from the NFL. And we should boycott them, period. We should boycott them, period. And then Nino's talking about they don't care about when they blackball somebody like Terrell Owens or whoever. He said because they know they're going to have fresh new people coming in next year. Yeah, they will. They know that. They always will. But the sad thing is, those same black people going and signing up to play for them could have their own league. And that's the sad part of it. Okay? Black people really need to start knowing their worth. And that's why some black people think that he should have bowed down, that he shouldn't have been acting so cocky and arrogant, so confident in himself. Because those are the black people who bow down. Okay, they do that for a living. They're used to it. Some of us, we don't bow down. Okay, and we don't try to fit in. Okay, I know I don't, because I was born to stand out. And so was Shadur. All right, so with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this day. Okay, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay, and keep those notifications on in case the Queen comes back later. Okay, and for those of you that follow the spiritual channel, I don't know what happened yesterday. I put a video up there, uploaded a video to premiere. The video didn't even premiere. I don't know what happened. Okay, thanks to ScrewTube. So anyway, I played the video today, and I was on there today. So go check out your spiritual vitamins. All right. Love you all to life. And I will talk to you all again soon. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that gold all in my skin. God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans. I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got